Mahamudi the Great, Act 2. Nandi appears again and says, a few months later, one day Mahamudi was talking to his military general Kannapan. Let's go and see what is going on. Mahamudi stands from his throne and moves forward. Kannapan stands on his left. Mahamudi says, so you are afraid of a saint. In your words, a wolf in the sheepskin. I am totally confused, Kanapa. Was it you who shouldered the holy stone from Kailasa, having given it the holy dip in the Manasarovar, taking it alone from the faraway Himalaya to get founded in our temple of Mahadeva years ago, trembling with fear like this on hearing about the arrival of an ascetic? Kannapan says, my lord, I beg your majesty's pardon. If my words were found to have any of the vibration of fear. Though the snake is a very small creeping creature, it has deadly poison in it to kill even an elephant. So is this ascetic. Wherever he goes, he makes the king there crownless. So, I request your majesty either to allow me to kill him or not to allow him enter our virgin land. We shouldn't forget that a stitch in time saves nine, my lord. Hearing this, Mahamudi says, if Mahadev decides that we should meet him, we can't avoid that meeting. My mind says that he is inevitable, as death that is inevitable to all the living creatures. If he is capable of making me crownless, he should be allowed to take away my crown. By the way, what techniques he applies to snatch power and keep the power sustained with him? Kannapan's reply. The technique that he applies is a new one. It is something like fishing in troubled water. Wherever he goes, he makes the land his home. He sows poisonous seeds that grow abruptly everywhere. We in this land divide people into groups according to their ability, but we allow them to learn everything. So in this land, a shepherd's son will become a priest if he learns the art and rules of the priest. That is how, Your Majesty, I have become the chief of Your Majesty's army, though my father is the hunter. But according to their concept, shepherds should have only shepherds in their family. It should never be changed. It is stamped forever. How cruel it is to stamp label on the coming generations without considering their taste, attitude, and aptitude. So, if we fail to check Guru Kumana, he will destroy the unity, power, and prosperity of our society by injecting the cancerous segregation. Mahamudi asks, how did the kings of northern and eastern regions handle him? Could he succeed? Hearing this, Kannapan says, Guru Kumana and his men are actually from extreme north, near around the countries of Raman, who is said to have defeated and killed the mighty Ravan and valiant Vali centuries ago with the help of the conspirators. They even worship Raman and the like, the eminent rulers of the ancient times. They occupied the Chalukyans' land centuries ago. but they were driven away by Cholas and Pandyans from the northeastern and eastern lands when they tried to enter. However, they unexpectedly became victorious immediately after crossing the eastern mountains. All the kings of northern region have either surrendered their country to them or converted themselves to Islam. Guru and his men claimed the land in between the eastern mountain and the Arabian Sea by saying that they are the legal heirs of Guru Parashu, who discovered and released this land from the Arabian Sea thousands of years ago. My lord, is there any iota of truth in it? Hearing this, Mahamudi says, absurd, mere stupidity. They are avaricious. Their greed has no limit. Actually, their greedy ancestors drove our ancestors from the north to the south thousands of years ago. Now it is their turn. Actually, they behave like Pythias of ancient Greek. The Pythias had begun to behave and assume themselves as the representatives of God then. In the course of time, the people of Greek began to fear those Pythias and forgot God. Thus, the Pythias killed the religions that existed there in Greek then. Actually, these people must be the Pythias of our faith, which is actually next in seniority among the faiths of this world, waiting to get buried. Then, concerning Guru Parasu, he was a great ascetic. He never hesitated to kill even the kings who were unfit to be the rulers because of their simply focusing their attention on earthly pleasures. Moreover, he was cordial with all. He never had a cord across his chest to hate others. 300 years ago, it was Madhvacharya who had introduced this system of cord across the chest. He used this cord as a token to serve God. Doubtless, he might not have thought that some of his business minded disciples would use the cord to ill-treat and exploit the innocent people and to get the favorable correction even in the Holy Scriptures. All we have to do here is bemoaning our bitter fate. We have no other way except accepting it as it were a natural calamity like that of the great flood that had swallowed the Arba Musri before a century. Hearing this, Kannappan says, if your majesty knows this much about these dangerous people, why don't your majesty do something to avoid these people as Cholas and Pandyans did in their country? Hearing this, Mahamudi, God hasn't chosen me to do so. It was Mahadeva who had graced Rajaraja to build the big golden temple along with the huge towers 400 years ago. It was Mahadeva who had blessed all the Cholas and Pandyas to build hundreds of big Mahadeva temples with huge towers everywhere in their kingdoms. So they are the chosen people for their chosen lands. The chosen lands are not meant for any kind of pollution from other religious faiths. They are supposed to stand like this for another 1,000 years to prove the world that the people who had lived there thousands of years ago were of a superior race, spiritually superior enough to know all the secrets about the creation of galaxy, nebula, and supernova from the divine dance of Nadaraja. As the Western people are helplessly blind to what our great Thirumalan said, whatever they discover or invent in the days to come concerning celestial bodies, it will be only a partial view or concept of what our great Thirumalan had said. But, my dear Kannappa, don't get disappointed. Our land too has hundreds of Mahadeva temples, though they don't have huge towers like that of Cholas and Pandyas. Guru Gomana's people will be in need of another 1,000 years to convert all these temples to theirs. So let's face them boldly, whatever happens. Little minds are overpowered and defeated by misfortune, but great minds rise above it. Hearing this, Kannappan says, "As your majesty wishes, my lord. By the way, I have brought glad news too. Our Mahavira saved the daughter of an ascetic from an elephant yesterday. However, both fell in love with each other at their first sight. On the way, I tried my maximum to dissuade Mahavira from the thought of marrying that girl. But it was doubtless a futile attempt. What is to be done in this matter, my lord?" Hearing this, Mahamudi says, "If Mahavira decides to accept that girl as his wife, we should not stand against it. You should go and know all about the girl and her parentage. Actually, I had a dream echoing all the things what we have discussed so far, including the marriage of our Mahavira. So I think the time has come to face the hard realities of life. You should train your heart and mind in such a way that every second of our life has been calculated and arranged by the Almighty Mahadeva. So we must abide by the divine decisions of Mahadeva, whatever they are." Hearing this, Kannappan, "As your majesty wishes, my lord, let me be permitted to leave your majesty. Long live our great king." Hearing this, Mahamudi, "See you, Kannappa. Blessing of Mahadeva be always with you."